o'clock.
It's.
Darn, you ready? All right, at this time, we'll call this special meeting, of the Hill County Commissioners Court to order. This is the Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. That rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Yeah, let the record reflect it's 8:30 a.m. We're in the Hill County Courtroom. Quorum of Commissioners is present and established, everybody being here today. Further, this meeting was posted in accordance with Texas Government Code 551, better known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. This meeting is being held both in person and online, simulcast there. Ms. Paul, has anybody signed up to speak online before 8 a.m. this morning? They have not? Okay. Maybe one day we'll get somebody to do that. So at this time, we're going to jump right into this being a special called meeting and open forum. This is your opportunity to address the court on anything that's not on the agenda or maybe on the agenda. However, we cannot reply. So if you would limit your comments to about 3 minutes, 5 minutes in duration. And as we respect you, please show respect to the court. Open forum, going once, going twice. All right, we can come back to that if we need to. Number one is court orders, discuss and approve invoices, where you have a packet from the treasurer's office. They emailed it that has the accounts payable, forgive me, for this date. If there's any discussion on invoices, please let me know. Just kind of give everybody a good idea of where our expenditures are at this point.
Second.
Motion is second to approve invoices as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I call the question. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Number two, discuss and approve employee wage status changes. So we got two options. I can read all these to you, or we can just assume you read them all yourself and ask for a motion. Your choice.
Make the motion. Second.
Fair. All right, we have a motion a second to approve the employee wage status changes. For those of you following along at home, what this are, due to some intricacies in Texas law, basically we've had to go back and rehire people we've already hired for the sheriff's office. Don't worry, we didn't do anything we shouldn't, but those are the employee wage status changes. I'll call the question. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Any abstentions? The motion shall carry. We'll pass that around. Number three, so this is going to be the grants administration and accounting policy and procedures. I haven't received any input from anybody yet, so I didn't know if that fell off your radar. Do we want to wait a little bit and do that next meeting, or are you guys good to go with it? I just haven't heard any feedback, so I put it back on there. We can tackle it next Tuesday meeting, but yeah, we can push it. Yes. Yes, sir. We can do that. That's a request. So what we'll do is take no action on that. We'll bring it back up at next meeting on the 14th and deal with it then. Number four, we have the career advancement plan for the SO. We have a new sheriff with us. So this career advancement plan in front of you replaces the version that the court previously approved back in October, I believe, of last year. Sheriff, you want to talk to it, or?
Yeah, the chief's been working real hard on that, so if you want to hear directly from him, he's gonna be able to answer the questions better than I.
I heard both the wheels go over you that time when you went under the bus. That's good.
So basically, the career advancement plan policy is in place. I mean, it's a good policy. We really think it would be better, a little bit, more easy to use for everybody. The sheriff's office, the treasurer's office, auditor, everybody. I think a lot of things on there can probably be simplified.
Okay.
And broken down a little bit better. It appears to us that the specialized skills pay and everything else that was associated with it through the county except the sheriff's office, a lot of that stuff was added, in my opinion, probably to appease and pay one person a lot more money. So there are a lot of things on there that I've never seen across my career that is being specialized skills paid. A lot of that can be worked into the everyday work of one or two particular people. So basically, there's some little things I think that we can tweak on that policy to make it better, I think, for everybody as a whole. Problem is, we haven't had the exact chance to get with that between what we're trying to fix, what we've got going on, and still have day-to-day operations every day. On top of every project that we have, it's on our priority list. We just haven't gotten there yet.
You've been there 7 days. I forgive. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're really trying to.
I know you guys are. Okay. What's the change you guys are asking us to make today?
Salary wise, so this was a quick, small brief that we basically put together for today. I know it's probably not the typical court rate that you guys are looking for.
That's fine.
I promise you.
Appreciate that.
Let's see. Okay. This short brief that we have here under item number 3.
Yes, sir.
Basically what we were looking to do, and we were going to talk about this as well later on. There was a position in the jail budget for the sheriff's office. At the rate of a deputy 4 rate of pay. This was a position that was now vacated by the separation of former deputy Kevin Boswell, he come over with the sheriff's office. That position was listed at the rate of deputy 4 at the rate of $73,631-ish a year at base salary. That position, we don't believe necessarily crucial to the sheriff's office. I noted in here that Mr. Boswell's been gone a week now, and I would have not had one person request any work from that position. It's almost like I'm not sure what was going on with it, but basically the point is we feel like that position could be better used elsewhere in a different position for a variety of things aside from what was being done before.
Okay.
And we were going to request, through you and through Ms. Williams, but later on, basically to move money from the jail salary line item of 1105 over to the sheriff's law enforcement side of 1101. And actually request a small increase in that salary to basically take it from deputy 4, which is a top down deputy's position, to the rank of sergeant and sergeant's salary. Basically the point of that position is to elevate it. That way we can get someone in here with some talent. The rank and the pay may actually persuade somebody with the experience to come into this job, because it's an administrative position that's extremely vital to the sheriff's office. The position itself could include conducting duties such as background investigations for new hires, which is extremely important to the agency. Internal affairs investigations, which I would argue is even more important to a law enforcement agency from a liability standpoint. Public relations, social media management, and potentially we have our agency allocated with administrative and supervisory staff now. Everybody is, in my opinion, just about full and don't do with their current positions with the number of people that they have to manage.
Okay.
We didn't want to outfit it and make it super top heavy. So in doing that, everybody had to kind of take on a little bit extra, and we tried to spread it out as evenly as possible. Communications in itself is vital to what we do. It's our lifeline, and we really want to try to allocate one supervisor that is directly over that from a sworn perspective. I know that there is currently a manager there now. The problem is with the turnover that they have there, dispatchers, and constantly having to pay in the dispatch division. That supervisor is constantly having to cover a shift because it's allocated for the bare minimum number of people to function. So if one person calls in sick, or if we're short an employee, the manager for the unit is having to work a shift and can't really have much time with the rest of the dispatchers to work the other shift. So that's why we're kind of requesting that bump in pay to that rank position.
So so we've got $73,000 and change, forgive me. How much more we're going to need on top of that to make that happen at that sergeant position?
The base salary for sergeant 79.2 is to change. It's basically a difference of $5,614.44 would be the increase from deputy 4 to sergeant, plus the associated benefit increases with that, taxes, unemployment tax, benefits,
Gotcha.
retirement.
I'm not opposed to that idea at all. My deal is I do want to sit down with Susan and get exact numbers, what we're going to move, and a budget amendment. How fast are you guys looking at moving on this? Tomorrow?
No, a little quickly, but not something I need just right now. This is something that we're probably going to end up having to open to the outside, because I'm not quite sure that we have anyone within the agency now that's even qualified for this position.
Fair enough.
It's going to be tough to fill it internally, because our patrol division, the people that we have to pick from now are very green. They're good people. We got to meet them. They've been great, but the experience level for this job, it needs to be policy-based job. Somebody who's experienced with policy implementation, enforcement, the internal affairs side of it. I mean, you have to be multifaceted with your experience to be an internal affairs investigator. So it's probably going to end up being open to the outside.
Fair
But
enough.
You need the approval before you can move that forward, subject to the budget amendments.
I believe so.
That is correct. He would need approval from this body to do it, and I'm in favor of doing it subject to budget amendments, because we are going to have to come up with an additional $5,614.44. I don't think that's going to be a serious obstacle, gentlemen. I think that we do have a contingency line. We could take a little bit out of that to cover it, even though it's early in the year. I know that's one of the places that I continuously hear concerns about is staffing in the dispatch. And exactly what Chief said is that when you've got a minimum number of people, somebody's out, somebody's sick, somebody's had a baby, whatever it may be, the person supposed to be supervising, training, and managing is unfortunately taking up running the shift at the same time. They can't do two jobs at once. So I'm not opposed to it in the least. I just need to get the right numbers so we get everything knocked out and get it all down the road. How do you guys want to address this?
Make a motion to approve, subject to budget amendments.
Okay. So we have it on here as a career advancement plan on the agenda, not to be hyper technical about things. And is that what we need to take action on today? I tend to think we can, because this is part of that plan. The overall plan is a very voluminous document. You guys remember back in November or October of last year. So your motion is to approve the movement of
Deputy Ford.
creating a deputy for, taking the deputy four from the jail to creating a position of sergeant in the Ellie in the sheriff law enforcement side. So moving it from 1105 to 1101. And then accordingly, we'll have to get with Miss Susan, the
Budget amendment.
yeah, because I mean, the amount, the $5,614.44 for the salary, it's not an issue. We have a few more dollars, but figure 1/3 of that again for benefits. There's going to be a little bit more money in Social Security, Medicaid, and all that stuff.
We can save that on not having catfish on Friday.
I think so.
Only question I have about it is Bob, we're putting out the little green signs for address.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's the only question I have.
We talked to Mr. Clinton about that from 911 because I understand that he was helping her out as needed. I don't think it was necessarily a full-time thing.
No, he just, whenever she gets probably, oh, I don't know, 12, 15 a week. And so he'd come by, time or two a week and get them and take them and put them out for.
Yes, sir. I know the sheriff had a conversation with her recently about that,
Okay.
and we're willing to accommodate and help out any division of county government here that we can help out. Of course, within reason, as long as we don't have, a lot going on. But she's aware that we're still willing to help her out. We should be able to come up with something to try to help her going forward. Just the position as a whole being allocated to where it was.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
I really think probably next year we need to budget someone for signs, because we have trouble getting our signs, regular street signs out and everything else. I think everybody's probably got a few
Thank you.
signs in their barns that.
Probably ought to start putting RFID chips on those things. We could cover a lot.
Boy, isn't that a truth?
Yeah.
So,
Put
it
them
might
out,
be
don't
something
be
where
24 hours.
we could have a full-time person just putting out signs
Something to think about.
for the whole county.
But motion in front of us right now, though, I got to draw everybody back to the present, forgive me. It's a neat deal. And there is a motion before us to have, under the career advancement plan of the sheriff's office, to move Deputy 4 from the Hill County Jail Division to a sergeant and create that position in Hill County Law Enforcement, and accordingly to make the appropriate budget transfers between the 1105 and 1101 line items. Is that your motion?
That is my motion.
Is there still a second?
Yes.
All right. Is there any further discussion regarding the motion and second? Hearing none, I shall call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, we're going to move into the next one, and that's discuss an action on contract with public sector personnel consultants. Public sector personnel consultants is ultimately, well, let me back up a little bit. The last time we did the career, the salary survey, there was some discontent with some of the numbers. And so we have instructed the treasurer to go back out and look for companies that can do this. The company that she has recommended, and forgive us, she's not here due to some medical reasons this morning, is a public sector personnel consultants. Apparently they've done quite a few different cities and counties. This is who she's recommending to go forward with a salary survey at this time. Their price was budgeted. It's $30,000. It's a lot of money, but we did budget it in this last year's budget and considering this. So
I make a motion to accept it.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve a contract between Hill County, Texas and Public Sector Personnel Policy Consultants. I'm sorry, Personnel Consultants. Let me get that name right. Public Sector Personnel Consultants for the purposes of conducting a salary survey of Hill County.
Have we contacted any of these other
I have not yet.
to see see what their satisfaction was?
My
with
plate's
service?
My plate's been full.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
and I know that she's been down, but
Yeah,
Step off of that and get into
I don't
the
have a
same
pro-
situation we were in before.
my 10 cents is I don't have a problem if we table this till next meeting, 7 days from now, and everybody makes phone calls. And I think that might be the wise thing to do. I'm sure that she's done a good job of sorting these people out, but it'd be good to hear from our counterparts in other communities that, hey, are you guys happy? I think that's one of the problems we had last time is that we didn't have enough folks, and my displeasure with the last group of people. I don't think they did everything they advertised they said they were going to do. And it left some
Agreed.
folks feeling less than appreciated around here, and I don't want to do that again. So I'm in favor of doing this with the caveat, I'd like to push it to next meeting so that we can have everybody run down through these list of folks that have done it. And you're looking at counties that have done it. You've got Apache, Bell County, Douglas County, El Paso, Franklin County. Those are different states. Rockwall County, Texas, Washington County, Texas. And then you've got a lot of cities that have used them too. And these are just the Texas cities: Addison, Allen, Bedford, Burleson, Cedar Park, Dallas, El Paso, Fort Worth, Frisco, Galveston, Glen Heights, Waco.
Should be easy to get a read.
Yeah, they've done a lot of folks around us. I just want to have everybody reach out and say, hey, call somebody, your counterpart. What was their thought on the process? Did they do what they advertised? Did they deliver as promised? And again, I don't think that was the case with the last folks. Just a lot of employees felt like they didn't get their voice heard and that they weren't appreciated. And I don't want anybody to walk away like that again. So that would be, I know there's a motion second to approve on the table. There's rescinding in a second. I'd like to table this if that's okay, guys. Sounds good to me.
And we
Okay.
want to divide these up and
I will let you draw straws amongst yourself as to what you would like to do. I would say if you guys could each take a county, that would probably be good. I give you 4 different viewpoints. There is 4 Texas counties on there, right? There was Bell County, El Paso, Rockwall, and Washington. So hopefully their commissioners in those respective counties would have some insight on how this worked and how you.
take Washington County.
All right. We got to take her for Washington. I figured somebody jump on Rockwall being the smallest one on there.
Which one do you want? No?
Bell County. Cool. All right. We got Commissioner Hawkins will call Bell County. And so Commissioner Holcomb's got, what'd you say?
Washington.
Washington County. All right. And we'll divide the other 2 amongst the remaining commissioners just to move this forward. So, all right, that's what I'd like to
Can
do.
we drive to Wyoming? I'd like to.
I don't know if you can go to Wyoming. I'm not certain that driving there is doing the cards.
Yeah,
But-
probably not be a good. time.
Yeah, I'd wait till the summer.
Yeah, I would not go this week. We'll get into that in a minute. All right, guys, thank you very much. Again, I want to let you know how much I appreciate the treasurer getting on top of this, doing this. I just want buy-in from everybody on this process this time. I think we just moved pretty fast last time, frankly, under the circumstances. All right, so let's move along. And we have discussion or approved bonds. Today's bonds are pretty straightforward. We have Mr. Kevin Cordell, Constable Precinct 4, Mr. Kyle Neville, Constable Precinct 1. We have Terry McElrath with a juvenile probation, Mr. David Holmes, who is the county attorney, Jason K. Well, Brian Scott Hawkins, and Marshall Eubanker, district clerk. And those are the bonds we have for today.
Make a motion for it.
I have a motion to second to approve the aforementioned bonds. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 7 is discussion only item. We're not appointing anybody today, but this is our notice to the general public. In January of each year, the Commissioners Court of Hill County is required to appoint members to the emergency service districts. There are 2 emergency service districts in Hill County. Number 1, which typically covers fire suppression, and emergency service district number 2, which deals with ambulance services. We have to appoint to both of those. We make it known each year that these are open positions. Anybody can put their name in a hat. The requirements are as follows. You have to be a registered voter in the county. So that means 18 years of age and registered, reside here for at least 6 months. And 2, you have to live within the boundary of the ESD. Frankly, that's pretty easy for most of them. ESD 1 is basically everything but Hillsborough, I think. ESD 2 is very close to that as well. If you don't know where you're at in ESDs, give us a call. We'll be happy to point out where you are, where you aren't. You can find those, I believe, on the elections page website. I think those maps are on there. But what we're doing is making that general announcement. We have some members of the ESD, 3 of them with us today. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. They provide an important service. It is unpaid duty. I'm sorry, we don't pay you. It's called free butt chewings. But the deal is they provide a duty behind the scenes that are vitally important to Hill County and the public health and safety here. So that being said, we're making our call today is that if you have an interest in participating in one of these boards, please let us know. You can send your resumes to the county judge. That's countyjudge@co.hill.tx.us, or you can come by and drop it off personally. If you do that, depending on which precinct you're in, our typical arrangement here has been there's 5 members on each of these boards. So each precinct commissioner makes an appointment and the county judge makes one at-large appointment. What we look for is on ESD1, we do not want conflicts of interest. So if you're currently a member of a volunteer fire department, thank you for your service, but we won't be taking your consideration for this job as we are attempting to avoid the idea that there's conflicts. We don't want somebody from Department A put on the board and everybody else thinks Department A gets favoritism. Why do we worry about that? Because it's actually happened to us in the past. So if you are a current member of the fire department, again, thank you for your service, but you would have to resign your membership of the fire department to serve on this board. We do like people with backgrounds that have some knowledge and understanding of the fire service. We also like people that have backgrounds and knowledge of public funds and business. You take a tax in on ESD1, they take a tax in, I should say. We do not, because it's a separate entity from us. Our only job is to appoint people. And that being the case, there are quite a few rules that go along with using public funds, be it investment, be it accountability. So again, we put out the call for ESD1 and ESD2. If there's any nominations in Hill County, please have them contact the county judge or come by the office and we'll be happy to talk with them. And that is my soapbox for today that I will kindly step off of and move on.
We will make those nominations in January.
Yes, so the last meeting in January is when we make the
Last-
appointments. Yes, sir. We give people time to get up here and do what they got to do. Okay, we're going to move along then, and that's on number 8. Discuss and our action declare three belly dump trucks and fuel tanks as salvage.
Actually, it's Billy, no. Right.
Okay, Scribner's error. I'm like, man, you can't get rid of 3 trucks, huh? 3 belly dump trailers. You got all the good out of those? Okay.
Still this trailer. Kind of move on.
You only drove them to church on Sunday, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
People tank, yeah, that's over from the last sale. That we'll throw out there. And
Okay.
somebody will buy it, you know?
So all this stuff has some use for its originally intended purpose. We would call it surplus.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Is that a motion to declare 3 belly dump trailers and how many fuel tanks?
3, I think, not positive.
Okay, and fuel tanks as surplus property?
Uh,
We have a motion. Is there a second? Motion and second to declare 3 belly dump trailers and assorted fuel tanks as surplus property for Hill County Commissioner Precinct number 3. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 9, back to that same subject, that surplus property. We're going to sell it. How do you want to sell it, sir?
Third cats.
Okay, online sale. That's a motion for online sale through Cadix Auctioneering. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion in a couple of seconds. We'll take the one I heard over here on the right first, because I hear better out of that ear. So there we are. Oh, was he? Yeah, I did. Yeah, give it to Martin then. I don't want him upset at me. I don't need his vote on this next one. All right. So anyway, any further discussion? If not, I call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Number 10 is observe and record the Hill County CPS Board Treasurer's Report for December of 24. Again, those folks do yeoman's work. We appreciate all the CPS Board does for the children of Hill County, especially those kids that find themselves in a terrible situation that unfortunately often the CPS Board encounters them in. You've got no assets totaling $100,039.56. That just how great those folks are. Have been at fundraising. And their income for this month was $24,165, of which $21,500 were corporate, $21,540 were corporate contributions. So really, really impressed with the businesses in Hill County standing up. I thank them for it. Then we had some total expenses, a Christmas gift expenses, those children that they under their care that they buy Christmas gifts, so about $4,200 there. And then of course the Rainbow Room, that's where they get everything from clothing to luggage for children, unfortunately, that are removed in the middle of, sometimes have to be removed from their home with nothing else. So the total net income is $19,086.48. And that is the Hill County CPS Board Treasurer's Report for December of 2024. A motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Number 11 on page 2, as we used to say, Discuss and approve purchase of vehicle for Hill County Sheriff's Department. Okay, guys, we didn't budget for this, but after talking with the sheriff at length, he needs a vehicle to drive around. He's not asking for some big dually or something like that. It's a reasonable truck. He's gone out and done his legwork. I believe Constable Precinct 4 helped out, and he's found a truck, a Ford truck out here at the local dealership. It's under $50,000. The caveat to that is, that Ford dealership does not upfit for law enforcement. So we're going to have to go get that elsewhere. I think you found a heck of a deal on the truck, and just to show you one that's comparable, it's a 2023 model. The total out the door cost is $47,886.32. Again, it's from Hillsborough Ford. A comparable model that's out there goes, oh, here's one just sitting next to it. And this one I think had a little bit taken off of it, but the total MSRP was $67,855. So he's been looking around a little bit, but just to give you two different bids that he's got from out there. I would recommend we don't go out and pay interest. Is that doable? We should be able to do that. Okay, good deal. All right, good deal. We'd have to make the arrangements for it, but the vehicles they have down there, we're working our way through that. I believe we have a meeting later this week with the sheriff and American National Leasing to understand how that's going to move going forward. I think if you guys recall at budget time, man, of all people.
Well, he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Well, he's a celebrity now, so.
He should
he's
be.
been
It should-
a new president or whatever. So,
Oh, we're happy for him. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, long and the short of things with this vehicle, the sheriff needs a vehicle. American National Lease Financing, right? Sidetrack. We have 7 vehicles that come up for their last payment in this year. We think, our debt schedule shows that. So next year he'll be able to replace some other vehicles. We've made it known that we can't do anything more than this year. Again, this would be borrowing money from our unbudgeted reserve, and then he have to pay it back in sequential years, be it through payments over 4 years or whatever, like we've previously done. But that's my recommendation. It's a good truck. It works for what he needs. It's local, and he gets us down the road.
Is it a brand new one?
No, it's a 23. It's pretty close.
So,
Yeah, go ahead, Sheriff.
so it is brand new, it has 16 miles on it. They basically said they have to sell it as used because they had to replace the hood on it due to some storm damage. But other than that, the vehicle's full drive package, it's, I mean, it's pretty nice, and, I don't, honestly, if I'd have known it was on the lot, I probably would have bought it for myself before this came up, but, no, he's willing to hold it for us until y'all make your decision on that, and then, there's another to upfit it. There's another line, page in here. I believe this is the same company that we've used on a couple of constable.
We're going to have to put that on the next agenda because we didn't get it on the action item on
Okay,
this one for the
no worries.
upfitting. But as you see, the sheriff's already got the cost, and it's something we do need to address. It won't be the end of the expense on this because it will need to be upfitted, but this Ford house doesn't do that. So it's 2 separate purchases.
Yeah, and that's no big deal. We can do that at any time,
Yeah.
whenever, but,
Okay.
having a vehicle
next
to
Tuesday.
drive is important, so, and the reason there is no vehicles for me is I gave the, vehicles that were available to my administration, so.
Yeah. Right now, you're using your personal vehicle, I
I am.
understand? Yeah.
So. Want to take care of them first and then see what we had, so.
That's it.
Make a motion.
All right, we have a motion to second to purchase a Ford, 2023 Ford pickup truck from Hillsborough Ford at a total out the door cost of $47,886.32. While we're at this call next Tuesday, let's put on there for the upfit so we can get that now that we got that bid. And we'll get that upfit done next Tuesday, so you won't be waiting. Is there any further discussion? And I guess part of that motion, we're gonna work out financing. Susan, do you want that to come back through at a separate motion, or do you want to roll it up in this one? Okay, good deal. All right, so we'll go ahead and make the approval then, the motion we've made to purchase the truck. And we can come back Tuesday and deal with the exact numbers on the other bid, so he can get this going. All right, in which case, is any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed, any abstentions, motion carries. And then the sheriff has some salvage or surplus property. Sheriff, what you got today? Oh, please tell me it's a Winnebago.
So, we found some vehicles that were out there that we feel we can go ahead and surplus and, they bring a little bit of money back. We have, unit 115, which is a 2010 Ford van. miles of 382,835 miles. VIN and the license plate is provided there. We're not positive if that vehicle was purchased out of commissary funds yet. I think we will talk to the auditor. If we can figure that out, we still want to surplus it either way.
Yeah, no problem.
The other vehicles is unit 181, which is a 2015 Ford F-150 black and colored. It's extended cab. It's got 251,350 miles. They do run. License plate and VIN are on there. And then unit 183 is basically its brother. It's a 2015 F-150 black and color. It's got 281,755 miles. The VIN and the license plate are provided.
Thank you.
And the last unit there is unit 177. It's a 2015 Ford Explorer black and color. It's got 196,590 miles. The VIN and license plate are on there as well.
Okay, and all these vehicles still currently hyper-technically run.
Correct.
Okay,
To the best of our knowledge, I think we.
it ran. That's good enough. Yeah, all right. Well, I'll make a motion then that we declare the aforementioned four vehicles, unit 115, unit 181, unit 183, and unit 77 as surplus property.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the declaration of surplus property? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. And that means number 13 is selling it. How you want to sell it, Sheriff?
Yeah, I'm up for whatever. If we go through cadets, then I'd like to put a minimum on those.
Okay, fair
if
enough.
Possible.
Yeah.
If not, then I can go online. There's a couple of options.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's make a motion to approve online sales. You sell through online. I don't think we have to give the exact name of who we're going to use, but yeah. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. You got any idea what the minimums on these vehicles would be?
Probably around what, 3,000? Is that fair?
Yeah, I'm not a
It's
car,
not
I'm
fair.
not, I'm not a car guy. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
500,000.
there you go.
That and is it?
So Hunter, if you use Cadus, Scotty has negotiated a deal with them.
Oh, yeah.
That, I'll let you explain that, but something that you probably ought to talk to him about.
Well, in previous auctions, he was charging us, 6.5%. And then charging the buyers premium 10%. So we have the option now that we either get charged 6.5% or he charges a 10% buyer's premium, but not both. You need to make sure that's in the contract when you.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to say, my motion stands to allow the sheriff to sell these through online auction. If you'll come back with a contract with whoever you're going to sell it with, we got to approve that court anyway.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion on that issue? Hearing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Before we adjourn today, I didn't take it. It's a special meeting, so I kind of run through things to get you guys back out of here. Let's pay attention to what the weather's doing this week and a couple other things. We've had meetings yesterday, running through our emergency management plan with emergency management coordinator, Tom Hemrick, and with the assistant emergency manager, radio operator, Chris Jackson, and then, our new the Chris's. Anyway, what we are doing is today we have a 1 o'clock call with the National Weather Service to get the latest update. It's a very, you watch the news, it's kind of a wide forecast. This is a very centralized forecast. It's specific to our region. But at 3 o'clock, we have another call with local entities to get out the plan of what we're looking at doing and find out what they're looking at doing. After that call, we intend to rope in superintendents of schools. The reason for all this is when it gets dark Wednesday, it's going to go below freezing and it won't come back above freezing until sometime around noon on Friday. That in and of itself is not particularly concerning. It gets cold in Texas sometimes. What is concerning, though, is we have over a 90% chance of precipitation on Thursday. Depending on which weather service you believe, we're either going to get snow or we're going to get ice. We're going to get the worst is what my experience here is. So we're kind of on the line. Those north of us, in northern Johnson County up, are definitely look like they're getting 1 to 3 inches accumulation of snow overnight. We're probably going to see an ice storm. So all that being said and done, we're paying attention like we always do. We've double checked our supplies, laid in a few things. We have plans if there was a widespread power outage to opening a warming shelter. We'll talk about those plans at that time. We've already done a census through our Chamber of Commerce. Bless Lynette, she's great to work with. Did a census of our local hotels. We're running about 30-31% occupancy at this rate. So our plan would be if they had another incident like 21 where the interstate was shut down, we're working with the sheriff to devise a plan on how we get those people off the interstate as before. And then we would start by taking people to hotels, commercial resources. And once those are full, and only then would we stand up the the warming center, or then other tripwire is if it becomes a situation that's going to go overnight, we would turn it into a warming shelter. We've contingency for that. The question that for years was where we get the volunteers. Well, I have an answer for that now. Chris's CERT team is just incredible. Got a new group of folks in to help out with that. So we do have the volunteers. We've done an inventory on our cots. We have somewhere around 60 to 75 cots in storage. We've got another 50 blankets coming today, if I understand it. I feel that we're well prepared for this weather event. The sheriff was in a meeting with us yesterday, talking about what assets he had available. It's going to be short-lived. It's not going to be a 3-day freeze or something like that. But to that end, check your buildings, make sure all your outside faucets are dripped if they're not covered, but winterize everything. Check on your neighbors, especially the elderly, the homebound. I know that you run Meals on Wheels and I really appreciate about you, but if you got some folks that are a little bit older, like old people like Martin over here, you got to check on them, make sure they're going to be all right. I thought you were sleeping. Sorry, I didn't. Okay. Anyway,
Also board, because you've got me back into it.
I see that I was putting you to sleep over there. So that's, it's who we are as a county. We help each other. If your pets are outside, bring them in or give them shelter. If they're cold, if you're cold, they're cold. There's no doubt about it. So just the common sense stuff. And I don't believe that we have to say this because it's not happening in Hill County, but I'm going to say it. If your power goes out, please, for the love of Job, do not bring your gas grill inside and turn it on for a heat source. And do not run your generator inside of a closed building. The carbon monoxide death is a truly horrible way to go. So don't do that to you or us. All that being said and done, I don't think it's going to be a serious problem. Worst case scenario at this point we're looking at is we get accumulation of ice. And okay, we will deal with that and we'll let everybody know. Information we'll keep obviously WFAA updated, but locally, more importantly, KHBR, the folks from the reporter will use our social media pages to let out what we're doing and try to have a unified message. So that's that. The second thing is we've lost a couple of people in the last week, and I want to make note of that. Number one is a longtime Hill County employee, Joe Rittenbaugh. Condolences to his family. He fought the good fight against cancer, but ultimately we also come to in the end. So please keep his family in your prayers. And then former Hill County Judge Kenneth Davis passed last Friday evening. He was a good Christian man and a dedicated public servant, and we appreciate what he's done for Hill County. And just let you guys know, keep that family in your prayers as well. All right. Anything else we need to talk about? If not,
Make a motion, adjourn.
motion.